Oh, look at that cheese pull. My cheeseburger sliders with burger sauce. We're gonna start toasting our slider mini buns. I'm using these right here. They're already sliced, or you can use King's Hawaiian rolls if you like those for sliders. Just make sure that you take a serrated knife, just go through your Hawaiian rolls lengthwise to cut them in half to get a top and a bottom. So we're going to place these on a sheet pan that I've got some parchment on here, and we'll separate them out. So if you're doing the King's Hawaiian rolls, you can just flip your tops over here and your bottoms over here and just make sure the inside is facing upwards. All right, that's the first step for making our delicious cheeseburger sliders with our burger sauce. I'm going to take some melted butter and we're going to coat the buns. It's going to give them a nice flavor, get them nice and toasty. You're not going to see me too much in the video today. We're doing a lot of yard work and we've got people over helping us with that, so I wanted to run in here and make these sliders for them and me and give them something yummy to eat. Who wouldn't like a little mini hamburger? I'm a big fan of hamburgers. I love them any way, shape, or form. Hope I can get it all out of there. Let's scrape. There we go. I got my oven preheated at 400 degrees. I'm going to pop these in there for about 5 minutes until they get nice and toasty, a little golden brown color to them. While they're in the oven, we're going to bring over a large deep skillet and we're going to start browning up 1 pound of ground beef. I'm going to break up the ground beef. We're going to cook it on medium-high heat until it gets browned up, no longer pink. While that's happening, I'm going to go ahead and chop up 1 yellow onion. Keep an eye on your buns. We're going to cut the onion in half. Just following the lines of the onion to get slices. And then we'll just dice them up. And once we get these diced up, we're going to add it to the ground beef and start softening down the onion while the ground beef is browning up. We're going to build the sauce. This is the hamburger sauce we're going to be using. 1/2 cup of mayonnaise. 2 tablespoons of ketchup. 1 tablespoon of relish. This is sweet relish. A little bit of mustard, about 1 teaspoon. We're going to shake in some garlic powder, about 1/4 teaspoon. Let's mix that up. This is like a secret sauce. In-N-Out Burger has it. McDonald's has their own sauce like this. I create my own right here. Make sure you give it a taste and see if you like it or if you need to add anything else. Ooh, that's good. Okay, now the ground beef is almost browned up. What I'm going to do, I'm going to check this out. Let's season it up first off. I've got some hamburger seasoning right here. Anything you like to put on your hamburger will work for this, because that's what this is a hamburger. Crack in some black pepper. I like that on a hamburger. Ooh, it smells good in there. Salt. Enhance the onion flavor with a little bit of onion powder. And we're going to add in some garlic powder. Just stir this around. This is like a loose meat hamburger. Smash down the meat. We're going to get it kind of crispy on the bottom like a hamburger. Just for a few minutes. Now, if you didn't know, we are going to be making some tater tots and fries in the air fryer. And then I've got some corn right here that I'm cooking. Oh, I can't wait to have some corn. I'm going to take the bottom buns. We're going to put them in a 9x13 baking dish. Butter side up. Keep them as close together as you can. You really need to have that part like that. There we go. We're going to take the sauce, we're going to do half of it, and we're going to put it on the bottom of the buns. These are going to be good. Once your hamburger is all cooked and everything, you can turn it off. Which I'm going to do right now. Who I have in the backyard right now, they're going to love these. All right, we're going to start the next layer with cheese. So we're going to take some sliced cheese. This is a Vermont cheddar cheese by Cabot. We're going to lay them all on top. That's why you want to make sure these are all together, as close as you can get them. Any kind of cheese you want. If you like American cheese, the regular cheddar cheese. We got another layer of cheese going on. We're going to take our hamburger meat. Looks good, smells good. And we're going to put it right on top of the cheese. That cheese is going to act like a glue to hold this all together. Somebody brought over hot dogs too. They're on the grill out there. So there's plenty of food for the workers out there. Thomas has already been in here. He's just trying to help me move the camera around, but I'm like, no, go on out there. All right, we're gonna make sure it's nice and evenly dispersed between all the buns on the bottom. All right, I'm gonna nab a piece of meat right there and give that a try. That's good. I've got some shredded Monterey Jack cheese. It's going all on top. Again, this layer right here will aid as a glue to hold the meat onto the buns. Go right there with it. Make these ooey gooey. I used 8 ounces. We've got the top of our buns that we toasted, and we got that sauce. We're going to slather it on the butter side there, and then put it on top. Slather it on. And we're looking at 4, 4, and 4. We still got something else to do to them. Let's make the topping. I've got 3 tablespoons of melted butter. I'm going to slather it over the buns. These are the tops. Can't wait for these. Make sure your oven is still preheated at the 400 degrees. All right, to give them that hamburger look, I'm going to take some minced onion to sprinkle them on top. There we go. Or you can do sesame seeds if you have the white ones. Okay, we're going to pop these in the oven for about 7 minutes until that cheese gets nice and melted and everything is golden brown. Here they are, you guys. Let's go look at that cheese pull. Here's mine. I'm going in for a bite. If you can toast your buns, toast the buns. And that sauce on both layers, wow. Double cheese it. That'll fill them up. Let's make chopped Italian sub sliders. What a delicious way to make an appetizer, lunch, or heck, have these for dinner. Now let's talk about our slider buns. I am using sliders. These are Pepperidge Farm. I like these because they're already split in half. But if you like the King's Hawaiian rolls, you can use those also. Just make sure you take a large serrated knife, cut through them lengthwise, and then put them in your dish. Let me show you what these look like here. So they come like this. They're kind of round. They're separated, and they're already split for you. You can find these in your bread aisle. Let's go ahead and spray our 9x13 baking dish with some nonstick cooking spray very lightly. We're going to place the bottoms in our dish and kind of put them very close together. And we're going to save the tops for later. We're going to take some mayonnaise and we're just going to cover the rolls on the bottom, slather it on there. This will give it some nice flavor. Now, there's still football going on, so this is a perfect appetizer for your football games. Make it for lunch. This will be a really good one for lunch, too. Everybody can get 3 if you have 4 people eating this. All right. We're going to place this in the oven. I've got it preheated at 400 degrees. It should take about 7 to 10 minutes just to get these nice and golden brown. In the meantime, we're going to put these away and we're going to bring over some of our meats that we're going to use for our chopped sandwich. Now I've got some honey ham, and then I've got like a charcuterie trio. I found it in our grocery store where you find the salamis at and the Italian meats. I have an Italian dry salami, pepperoni, and then another salami which is calabrese. So we're just going to take it, place it on a cutting board, and then chop it up. Now while I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and heat up a skillet on a medium-high heat. Let that heat up for just a second while we chop up our meats in bite-sized pieces. And then as we get it chopped up, we'll go ahead and add it to our skillet. Kind of want to warm it through, give it a little bit of browning to it, get it kind of crispy. Who doesn't like that? Now we're not going to add any oil or butter to our skillet because there's enough kind of fat in the salami. And I've already tried a piece and it's good. My husband's trying a piece right now. What do you got, the pepperoni? Yeah, that's the pepperoni. All right, let's add that to our skillet.
That's good.
Ooh, y'all.
Man, that's
That good. Oh, you hear that sizzle? Try not to eat it all because it smells delicious.
It tastes good too.
All right, we're going to cook this just for a few minutes until it's heated through and has a nice little golden crust to the meats. It's heated through. We got some crispy bits on our ham and salami and the pepperoni. We're going to go ahead and turn off the heat. That was it. Let's bring our dish back over that has our toasted bottoms of our subs. All right, there's our toasted bottom of the rolls. We're going to take some provolone cheese. And we're just going to put a piece on each one. We may double up if we have enough. I had a mouse in the kitchen. Not a real mouse. I think my son, he loves cheese. Y'all know that. I'm going to use the rest of this. This is about 6 ounces of sliced, thinly sliced provolone cheese. So we'll take the rest of the pieces here. Ah, my cameraman Thomas, that's my husband. Y'all don't know him. Very helpful. We're going to take our meats that we browned up. We're going to place it on top of the cheese. It's hard to save some. That honey ham, oh my goodness, adds a little sweetness. There we go. All right, we're bringing the tops of the rolls back over. We're going to place them on top. We're going to coat the tops of our buns. Now what I have is half a stick of butter. We're going to add in some Italian seasoning, 1 tablespoon. Just going to mix that together using my pastry brush, and then we're going to coat the tops of the buns. When I say I'm not kidding, I'm not kidding. We still have the middle to put inside of these. Stay with me. That looks good right there. Yum, right? We're going to place this back in our oven. It's still heated at the 400 degrees. We're going to bake these for another 5 to 7 minutes to get that cheese nice and melted and everything heated through. Now, while that's in the oven, we got some chopping to do. Now, I've already got about 6 to 7 ounces of shredded iceberg lettuce. Got about a 1/4 cup of red onion, diced very small. Now, I've got some dill pickles here. We're going to cut these up. Now these are banana peppers. I'll show you the jar. These are mild. You don't have to put these in if you don't want to. They just add a little extra flavor and some heat. Not too much though. I didn't have to chop up too much for you, did I? We're gonna mix this all together. I'm going to add half a cup of mayonnaise right to the center of it. Now I'm using a deli dressing. It has oil and vinegar in it and Italian seasoning, about 3 tablespoons total. I'm just gonna blend this all together. All right, this is a good way to not use a bowl, right? Just use your cutting board. Thomas is gonna go in and give that a try and see if we need to add anything else. Maybe some black pepper, some salt.
Salt and pepper.
I'm going in with my pepper. Just crack some on there, and we'll add some salt. We're gonna mix this up. All right, that cheese is nice and melted inside there. The buns are nice and toasty. Let's fill these up. We're gonna take the tops off so that we can put that in the middle. Okay. Now we're gonna evenly spread out our mixture here all over the top of the meat on our sliders. Does that look good? Woo. We're gonna put our toasty tops back on. Oh my gosh, I cannot wait. There we go. I'm gonna pull one out of here and give it a try for you. Ooh, what do y'all think? A fun, delicious appetizer using sliders. Let me give this a try for you. Wow, that's delicious. Today I'm going to show you how to make Big Mac sliders. Yeah, you know that Big Mac from McDonald's? We're going to take all those delicious flavors and we're going to compact it into a little slider. And they're going to be delicious. I'm going to bring you over here and we're going to start with that Big Mac sauce. We're just going to keep it easy with a few ingredients, so come on over. In just a small bowl, we're going to place half a cup of mayonnaise. That's the base for it. It's going to hold all those delicious flavors together. To that, we're going to add 2 tablespoons of creamy French dressing. Here's where all our flavors are coming. Whoop, a little extra there won't hurt. All right, sweet relish. 1 tablespoon. 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. I've got 1 teaspoon of white vinegar. 1 teaspoon of white granulated sugar. Now let me tell you what I got here. I've got half a teaspoon of onion powder, half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of paprika, and then I've got about a 1/4 teaspoon or a little less of salt. We're going to add all that. All right, let's whisk this together. All right, give it a try and make sure your flavors are where you want them. This way. Ooh, that's good. Yes, that tastes like that delicious sauce in a Big Mac. All right, just take a little bit of plastic wrap, cover your dish. We're going to place it in the refrigerator until we're ready for it. All right, we're going to start that hamburger. Let's go ahead and start making the beef patties. Now we're going to fully cook these before we put them on the slider buns. So in a medium bowl, we're going to start off with about a little less than 2 pounds of ground beef. All right, let's season this up. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of salt. We don't want to over salt. Right across the top. Some black pepper, about a 1/4 of a teaspoon. We got to flavor up the ground beef. There we go. Now I'm going to shake in a ton of minced onion, or you can take a white or yellow onion and chop it up really fine. But you know what? I'm just going to keep it easy. Come on out. We need some onion in here. A little more flavor, garlic powder. Right across the top. All right, I'm just going to put on some of my disposable kitchen gloves to help mix up all the meat here. I'm just going to use one hand. Get these out of the way. All right, while we're mixing this up, we're going to be using a 9x13 baking dish. What a fun way to make something that tastes like a Big Mac, right? Now, I do have a Big Mac casserole out there that had tater tots in it. I will link that down below if you want to try that recipe out also. That was a really good one. If you love tater tots, you like a tater tot casserole, yeah, McDonald's flavors. All right, let's go ahead now and place this into our baking dish. All right, we're going to evenly spread it out. Now, I do have these gloves linked in my Amazon store down below in the description box if you want to check those out. All right, there we go. Nice and even. We're going to place this in our oven at 350 degrees for 12 to 15 minutes until the hamburger meat is cooked through. Make sure you leave your oven on after you pull this out because we still have one step left that's going to go back in the oven. All right, I'll be back. All right, now what you need is a pack of Hawaiian king rolls. We're going to start getting these ready while our hamburger is cooking in the oven. Usually they come in a pack of 12 or maybe 18. And I have a recipe for Hawaiian king rolls. If you want to make your own, you can do that. Or for convenience, you can just buy them in the package like this here. Now these are Hawaiian style sweet rolls. They're the mini ones. We're going to try to get them all out in one batch. You don't want to pull these apart yet. All right, just like that. I'm using a serrated knife and it's very large. You usually cut bread with it. So I'm going to start on the small end and go all the way over to the other small end. In the center of the rolls, try to keep it very centered as you're cutting through the rolls lengthwise. Now, you want to keep looking on this side, on this side, on that side, and just make sure that your knife is not going upward through the bun. You want it right in the center. We're going to separate the tops from the bottom. And then place the bottoms into the baking dish. And then put them, make sure they're all together. We're going to set the tops aside for right now. We're ready to start building our Big Mac sliders. We're going to take that sauce that was chilling in the refrigerator and we're going to spread it all over the bottom of the rolls that are in our 9x13 baking dish. You know, that's the best part. Now, if you don't want to make your own homemade sauce, then you can use Thousand Island dressing. Would come really close to it. Make sure every bite of these sandwiches will get that sauce. Slather it on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to add the shredded iceberg lettuce all over the sauce. This is about 1/4 of the head of lettuce. Now what I'm going to do is place that big meat patty, and I just used a pastry scraper and a large spatula to pull it out of the pan, and then we're just placing it right on top. Get nice and even. All right, now what we're going to do is place some American cheese slices right across the top. And I've got a helper over here, the camera person.
Trying not to eat any.
He knows how to open American cheese slices. He likes that on a grilled cheese.
Mm-hmm. Grew up with it.
All right, I'm just gonna layer. We all grew up with this kind of cheese, didn't we? Yeah. Y'all let me know down below. We're gonna take some sliced dill pickled chips. We're gonna place them all over the cheese. All right, now we're gonna take our top buns and we're gonna place them on. All right, we got 2 tablespoons of melted butter and some sesame seeds. So go ahead and spread the melted butter on top of the rolls. Oh, a nice layer of flavor. Can't go wrong putting butter on something, huh? That is so that we can get our sesame seeds on top. All right, sesame seeds, sprinkle on top. Make it look like a Big Mac.
Oh, there you go.
Did we get them?
Yep, got it.
Got my oven still heated at the 350 degrees. We're going to place this in there for about 10 minutes, just enough to allow that cheese to melt and get everything nice and ooey gooey. I'll be back. All right, what do y'all think? Look at my Big Mac sliders. I'm just going to take a sharp knife and we're just going to start cutting through these. Oh yeah. Can you see the layers?
Oh.
I'm going to show you how to make Cowboy sliders. I need something to put on my football board with football games coming up, and then we've got holidays just around the corner in a blink of an eye. I've got something new for you guys today. So we're going to go ahead and get our bacon going so we have that nice and golden brown and crisp, and then we're going to put the rest of this together. Come on down, you guys. Now I'm just going to use some center cut bacon. I'm going to be cooking mine in the air fryer. It only takes 10 minutes. And while that's cooking, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious Cowboy butter that we're going to use on our sliders. So we're just going to cook about 5 to 6 pieces. Now if you want to do this in the oven, you can cook your bacon in the oven. Just bake it up about 425 degrees for, you know, that takes a little bit longer, probably about 15 to 18 minutes, depending on how crisp you want your bacon. Or you can always fry it in a frying pan and be done with that. But I don't have to watch the air fryer cook my bacon, so we're going to do it this way. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1 for a snack. Now I'm just using my Instant Vortex Plus. Let's see, time. We'll put it 10 minutes at 350 degrees. We'll let it go. Okay, Cowboy butter sauce. Now this recipe can be found on my recipe blog, catherinesplates.com. This is a great flavored sauce for steak, chicken, pork, vegetables. It's really good for anything, especially these sliders we're making today. So what we're going to start off with, we're going to melt 8 tablespoons of butter. Now I find that we tend to like the extra butter, so my recipe calls for 6 tablespoons, but I'm just going to do the whole stick. It is Cowboy butter, right? So I'm going to just break it down into 3s, put it in the microwave for about 45 seconds to a minute, and let that melt up. All right, to the melted butter, we're going to squeeze in half a lemon. I'm just going to use my lemon squeezer here. Just put it in face down, and let's squeeze. To that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of Dijon mustard, a little extra never hurt. We're going to go in with 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Now that's the recipe. We find that a little extra cayenne pepper never hurt anybody. So I'm going to go in with 1/4 teaspoon. We're going to put in 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Now this is the smoked paprika. 1/4 teaspoon of dried thyme. That's going to add some good flavor. 2 tablespoons of dried chives. We're going to add in 1/4 teaspoon of salt. A 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to put in 1/2 tablespoon of minced garlic. Now you can adjust these flavors any way you want. If you want more of something, you can just add it. Now we're going to chop up some fresh parsley. I'm going to just kind of twist it up a little bit there. Take my lemon knife and chop it up really fine. Now if you don't want to use fresh parsley, you can use dried parsley. Put in about 1/2 tablespoon. There we go. All right, let's add that. Just going to take a fork. We're just going to blend this together. I would say use a whisk, but I find that using a whisk, you get those parsley pieces in there and it's hard to get out. So fork is totally fine. We're going to remix this when we're ready to baste our slider buns. All right, we're going to set this off to the side and let's make that meat mixture. I've got 1 pound of ground beef in a medium skillet. We're going to place this over medium-high heat. We're going to break up our ground beef, start cooking it until it's no longer pink. All right, I'm just using my meat masher. It's my favorite tool in the kitchen. All right, while I'm browning up the ground beef, I got my husband over here. He's going to be chopping up some jalapenos to put on his side of the sliders. Well, my daughter Rihanna and Joseph, my son, they'll eat the jalapenos too. So we'll leave a few of them without the jalapenos. These are optional. He's going to slice those up and get them ready while I'm doing the meat here. Those are not going into the meat mixture. Just wanted to let y'all know. Woo, those are strong. Are you leaving the seeds in them?
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. Many ways to do it. With no heat, you can take the seeds out of them as you're slicing for kind of a medium heat. And then if you want full heat, leave all that in. All right, it's all browned up. I'm just going to scoot over my ground beef. It's nice and browned. We want to drain off any excess grease, however you get your grease out of your pan. I just take some paper towels, lay it in there. Woo. Smush it into the meat. You want to drain this good. You don't want all of this in your sliders because it'll make them wet. You don't want that. All right, let's take a look. There we go. All right, we're going to add our onion. We're going to cook this down until the onions are nice and soft. Just take a few minutes. We're going to add in 1/2 teaspoon of minced garlic. We're going to cook this for 30 seconds just to release the flavors of the garlic into the ground beef and onion. We're going to add in 2 tablespoons of your favorite hamburger seasoning. Now this is a McCormick brand. Boop. There we go. We're going to swirl in about 1/2 teaspoon of Worcestershire sauce, however you say it. I grew up saying it like that, And then we're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. We'll ramp up that pepper flavor. And then we're going to add in a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, let's mix this all together. We're going to keep this dry. All right, we're going to turn off the heat. We're ready to build up our sliders. I am using these sliders by Pepperidge Farm, and these are mini buns. They're already split in half. You can certainly use the Hawaiian's king rolls. You can use a serrated bread knife and just slice right through them to create your bottoms and your tops. All right, so we're going to pull these out of here. Oops, hold on a minute. What we're going to do is spray the bottom of our 9x13 baking dish. I got a little ahead of myself on that one. We just want to coat it. That way things don't stick. All right, we're going to place our buns into our baking dish. And what I'm going to do is just take off the tops. We'll come back to those later. Just going to lay them over here. All right, I'm going to evenly place them into my baking dish, just like that. Okay, we're going to baste our bottom of the rolls or your buns with half of the butter mixture here. I'm going to give it a mix and then slather it on. Don't forget that parsley. Just gives a nice color. There we go. All right, we're going to take the butter out of here. Hang on to it though. We're going to bring over that meat mixture that we made. Yeah, these are kind of like sloppy joes almost, right? And we are going to place these all over the buns. Wherever it lands, just make sure most of it lands on the center of your bun. There we go. I'm missing a bun because I got overzealous there when I was opening the package. So I'll just put the rest of that meat mixture wherever I see a bun. Cover them up. All right, we're going to add some jalapeno to, let's see, 3/4 of these. I think he said 1 slice right in the middle.
Sure.
All right, so these are pretty big. All right, so we're going to just double up on 6 of them. All right, now we're going to go in. Place this delicious bacon on top. So I'm going to put 1 on each piece. You can double up on that if you want and make extra bacon. Mmm. That's delicious. All right, we're going to take 2 cups of shredded cheese and we're going to go all over our sliders over here on top of the bacon. So I'm kind of mounding on top of that bacon there. This will hold everything together as much as possible, which is fun. There we go. Now, I got a surprise for you guys. Guess what's coming next? It's not the top bun yet. Crispy fried onions. I love these. They remind me of the holidays sometimes. The green bean casserole. All right, so we're going to sprinkle some of these right on top. So let me see. This is a 6 ounce package, and I'm going to be using about half of this, so 3 ounces of the crispy fried onions. There we go. Do these crunch? Let's see. Very yummy. We're going to take the top of our buns and we're going to place them down on top of those onions. Now, if you have the Hawaiian's king rolls, you can split them up if you want. Or you can just put the whole thing in there and then at the end, you can just slice them and do that. I got to figure out where my bottoms of the buns are. Make sure I'm on them. That's close enough. All right, let's take that rest of our Cowboy butter that we made. Now, if you need to loosen that up a little bit, you can put it in the microwave for about 10 seconds, just like that. Slather it on. Now just remember, you've got 12 or how many ever tops of buns to cover with, so don't go overboard, which I tend to do. But we're gonna, because this will melt all into that, into those other layers, melt down to the bottom. And if you have anything extra, dab it somewhere. I've got my oven preheating at 350 degrees. We're going to cover our baking dish with some aluminum foil. Now I'm using non-stick. Oh, that's the non-stick side. Now if you don't have the non-stick, I would just take your foil and you're going to spray it and then put the sprayed side down on top of your dish. And that'll keep it from sticking to your buns. We're going to bake this for 15 minutes. We're going to take the foil off. We're going to place it back in there for another 5 or 10 minutes until that cheese is nice and ooey gooey. We're going to plate these up. All right, these just came out of the oven. I'm going to remove some and put them on my football board so it looks party ready. All right, I've served them on my football tray here. Those look good. I'm going to take a bite. That's delicious. Going in for that fried onion. You guys, you need to give a thumbs up on this one. Today I'm going to show you how to make Cuban sliders the easy way. We are going to start off with some of the slider buns, and then we're going to make a delicious sauce for the bottom of them to get started. I'm using slider sweet Hawaiian mini buns, or you can use the Hawaiian rolls. This is by Pepperidge Farm. I was going to show you what they look like. Look like little bitty hamburger buns. So that's what we're going to be using today. Now you can use any style bun you want as long as they're mini. Okay, don't worry about that. That's just the flour on the bun. Now if you're using the Hawaiian rolls that are all put together, you just take your serrated knife and go right through lengthwise to make the top and the bottom, and then you put the bottom into your baking dish. Now I'm using a 9x13. Now these already come split apart, so they're really easy to use. You don't have to worry about slicing through them. So I'm going to take the tops off. We're going to use those later. So just set them off to the side. There we go. We're going to make that delicious mustard glaze for the bottom of the buns here. We're going to take 3 tablespoons of Dijon mustard. Now I'm using stone ground. And we're just going to measure that out and put that into a small bowl. I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. Got to get those flavors going. 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Blend this together. We already got flavor going on right here. We'll definitely give a nice flavor to the bottom of those buns. All right, we're going to take a brush. We're going to slather these on the bottom half of the buns. Get them good. My daughter works at a cheesecake factory and they make delicious Cubans. I don't get them very often though because, you know, it's pretty expensive to eat out. So make your own at home. All right, let's start layering all that good, delicious ingredients. We're going to start off with deli ham. Now this is thinly sliced. So I'm just going to take a piece. I'm just going to kind of put it into 4s and put it onto each half of the bun. That's that bottom portion. Now this ham is called uncured off the bone ham. And that is my husband's favorite. He gets this from the deli. It's that off that bone flavor. I need about half a pound for this recipe. All right, that was just enough right there. Nice component. I'm going to be using prepackaged pork. Now you can find this in your store in the prepackaged area. It has like potato salad, macaroni and cheese, baked beans, coleslaw, and then you can find meats like this. This is pork carnitas, and it's already pre-cooked. We're just going to shred that up and place that right on top of the ham. Now, this is a traditionally seasoned pork, slow cooked in a small batch kettles. And let me tell you, it smells delicious. So I'm going to take out some pieces of it. We'll thin slice it or shred it, whatever you want to do. If you want to slow cook a pork roast or loin in your slow cooker, season it up the day before you make these, you can do that. There we go. Now, pork carnitas, if you want to know the flavor of that, is pork, water, lard, salt, and onion powder and garlic powder. That's what's in here. All right, we're going to take a little handful, press it right on top of the ham. The pork will heat up in the oven, so I'm not preheating the pork. All right, next we've got to add that cheese. I'm using a baby Swiss cheese. So we're going to take each slice, we're going to fold it in half, and then we're going to take that half, break it in half till we have 4 pieces, and then we're going to layer that on top of the pork. Thank y'all for stopping by for lunch today. I hope I gave you a great idea. This is great for picnics, barbecues. Just have them at your house and eat them. Take them to a potluck. Now you can make as many as you want of these. I was making just enough for us, who's home today anyway. Oh, that belonged in there, didn't it? Almost shortchanged somebody. All right, now, I'm gonna give it that crunchy part. I'm gonna put some pickles on. Now I'm using the oval hamburger dill chips. What I'm going to do is just take the pickles out, move that off to the side. I'm just going to put them on a paper towel and just kind of blot them so they're not too wet. And then place right on top. If you got little pickle chips, then you could put a few more on there. If you got the big ones, one will be enough. But they're your sandwiches. All right, we're going to make that delicious butter sauce for the tops of the buns, and I'm going to be slathering it on the bottom part of that top bun and the top part of the top bun. So it's going to have flavor on both ends of it. So what we're going to do in just a regular medium bowl, I've got 5 tablespoons of melted butter. To that, we're going to add 1.5 teaspoons minced garlic. Put in there a half a time more. There we go. I'm going to add in minced onion, lots of minced onion, so I'm going to go ahead and just pull that thing off. About a tablespoon, go right across the top. And then we're going to add in some poppy seeds, about 1.5 teaspoons. Blend this together with my pastry brush. All right, let's grab the buns. All right, we're going to take a bun, lightly spread it on the bottom part of the top bun, and we're going to place it right on top of our sandwich where the pickles are. Now, like I said, my top buns, that's just flour on there, it comes right off. All All right, we're going to place the rest of this on top of the top buns here. I'm going to add an additional 2 tablespoons of butter. Mix that up, and let's slather that on the buns. Definitely want to make 2 or 3 of these per person. We're just going to take some foil, we're going to cover lightly over the top. I've got my oven preheated at 400 degrees. We're going to pop this in there for about 20 minutes covered. We're going to remove the foil and then we're going to pop it back in there for about 5 to 10 minutes. You want that cheese to be nice and melted and the top of the buns nice and golden. I'll be back. Okay, there are my Cuban sliders. Don't those look delicious? The flavor we added to the buns, the pork, the cheese, the ham, the pickles, the mustard sauce. I'm going to plate some up and give one a try for you. All right, I got 3 on a plate. We're going to see if that's going to work. Look how delicious that looks. What a fun way to make a Cuban sandwich, right in a slider bun. Y'all, those flavors are rocking in there. Make enough for everybody. You're gonna get some strange looks if you don't. That pork, that is so good. Use that carnitas flavored pork. Yeah. Give me a thumbs up. Make sure you comment down below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button down below. That way you'll always know when shows like this one here are posted. All right, everyone. I'll see y'all on the next episode.